A big part of my TV viewing used to be one of my favorite shows, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, and this show starred Jonathan Frakes. He was Commander William Riker in Star Trek The Next Generation, and he hosted a show that basically told these fantastic stories, and out of the stories told, you as the viewer would have to guess which story is fact or fiction, which is true or false. So I'm going to share a couple of stories with you, and I want you to let me know in the comments which story is fact or fiction. One day a married couple is spending the afternoon at home, and the wife has become obsessed with looking at new homes to buy. Currently they live in a decent sized home, however it's not their dream home. So the wife essentially became obsessed with looking for her dream home. So while scrolling on a website, she finds a home that caught her attention. It's everything she's ever wanted. A crystal pool, bay windows, upstairs and downstairs, 5-bedroom, just a beautiful, gorgeous home in a lovely location. So the husband is, talking with her, and she's like, honey, this is our house. And he says to her, there's no way we're going to be able to afford this because it was way out of their price range. It wasn't even 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times their price range. It was 4 times what they would expect to pay for a home. So, that idea, of course, went out the window, and the wife continued to look on. So every night when the wife went to sleep, she would dream of this home. She would be going up and down the stairs, walking by the pool, looking at the gardens, just admiring the house. And she would literally focus on this thing every day because that's the house she wanted. So one day she sees the house for sale at a really low price. It's way within their budget, and it's actually under the price that they would be expecting to pay for a house. So she begs the husband, and they finally go and visit this location. When they get there, a woman opens the door, and she's astonished when she sees the, woman and the man standing on the porch. She's like, oh my God, it's you. And the wife looks at the woman, and she's like, what are you talking about? And the woman who owns the house, she looks at her and says, you're the one that's been haunting my home. I've seen you walking through the bedrooms. I've seen you by the pool. I've seen you in the gardens. And I can't believe that's you. It's your face. You're a ghost. And the woman said, you know what? Since my house is already in the market, just take it. I've got to go. This is too weird. So they got their dream home for little or nothing. And the woman who owned the home said that she saw the same woman who purchased it, her and her husband. She saw the woman walking up and down the stairs and all through her house. She was in ghost form. So is this one fact or fiction? Was she astral projecting? Is it even a real story? Let me know. A teenager was hanging out with her family for the summer. They went down the shore to the beach and had a great time. She was able to swim, hang out with friends and her family. And when they returned home, of course, she missed the beach and she was a little sad. She went back to school, everything resumed as normal. And one morning she woke up vomiting. She was very sick and very ill. And her mother was worrying, about her. She had a temperature and she wasn't feeling well. Every morning, like clockwork, she would get up and vomit. So the mom started becoming suspicious because here it is, her teenage girl, and a lot of the symptoms she's getting is like she's pregnant. So the mother ignores it at first until she started seeing her daughter's belly getting bigger. So now the mother is, worried, and the family's worried about her. So they take her in to see the doctor. Upon examination, the doctor notices something funny. So he orders a few tests. They drew blood and they did an ultrasound because her stomach became distended and swollen, and she was having a hard time fitting her clothes. What the doctor found on the test was unbelievable. When they took a closer look, they saw that something was indeed growing in the child's belly. When they saw what it was completely shocking. It was actually an octopus. Apparently, somehow, while she was down at the shore, an octopus, baby octopus, got inside. They're not quite sure how, but it decided to make its way up and it made a home in her belly. The teenage girl, of course, claims that she can't be pregnant. She's still a virgin. However, her stomach is getting bigger. She's having these morning sickness issues, and it doesn't look quite good for her. And it began to grow. She had to get surgery to get this octopus removed. Now, is this one fact or fiction? Twin sisters, Camille and Rhoda, although identical and they look exactly alike, they are different. Camille is nicer and softer, while Rhoda is mean and nasty. Now, on Camille's wedding day, she's getting married to Kevin, the man of her dreams. Kevin is also Rhoda's man of her dreams. So the sisters are, trying to get along on the wedding day, and Rhoda, of course, is upset because she sees her sister has something that she's always wanted, Kevin. So they have a wonderful wedding day and they're jetted off to the tropics for their honeymoon. While there, they have a splendid time and things are going great. They return and they live 3 happy years together. And they even have 2 children. Sadly, on vacation, Camille contracts a rare blood disease while in the tropics. And sadly, she passed on there. Well, while they're on her deathbed, Rhoda visits her, and she's, of course, pushing up on the husband while she's visiting her sister. And Camille comments and says, "I know what you're doing. You can't have him. It's not right." And Rhoda says, "You know what? Just go ahead, girl. Just pass on so I can have your man." Sadly, Camille passes away, and Rhoda takes over. She becomes the new Camille. She's cooking meals and moving in on the family. And she's taken advantage of Kevin because he's still grieving for his wife, Camille. Now, later on, Kevin proposes to Rhoda, and Rhoda is extremely happy because this is the man of her dreams. She's always wanted Kevin, and she was jealous of her sister. When Camille passed on, Camille's last wish was to be buried in her wedding dress. It was very special to her, and she wanted it to be a part of her when she went to the other side. But Rhoda, being jealous and malicious as she is, she stripped Camille's body and took the wedding dress for herself. And poor Camille was buried in the cold and dark, butt naked, without her wedding dress. So Rhoda decides to wear her wedding dress on the day of her wedding. While walking down the aisle, it's a hot June day, and Rhoda is sweaty and she does not look good. So as she's walking down the aisle, she's feeling a little faint and a little weird. And before she can get to Kevin and say "I do" and her last final vows, she drops right there, drops dead in front of everyone. Later on, when they do the autopsy, they found that Rhoda died from formaldehyde poisoning. And also, they found in her blood traces of the disease that her sister Camille caught. Now, I want to know, did Camille reach out from the grave and take down her sister Rhoda, or am I pulling your leg? Let me know in the comment section if this story is fact or fiction. A boy down on his luck is driving around with his girlfriend one day, and times are hard. I mean really hard. They can barely afford groceries, and life has been rough for them financially. While they're driving, the guy's in shock because he sees what looks like his father in the road. This is impossible because his father passed away. Now, his father is dressed in his army uniform. So the boy slows down and takes a look around and doesn't see him anymore. So they get on the highway, and then he sees his father again, like pointing to a sign. The boy decides to exit. As he exits, he sees his father again in another area, pointing to a store. The boy gets out, parks, and goes inside the store. It's an army surplus store, a store where his father used to get his uniforms. So he goes inside. They have new things, new army gear, and they have some old stuff. While there, he finds a jacket on the shelf, and he has the patch that he notices is his last name. We'll say it's Johnson because I completely forgot the last name. So he's like, wow, that's a coincidence. That's my dad's last name. So he takes the jacket. Something's telling him to purchase it. So he buys the jacket for like $6. They walk out the store and they get in the car. He's like, wow, I saw my dad's ghost, and, my dad pointed me to this place. Maybe it was meant for me to get the jacket. While inspecting the jacket, inside the pocket, he finds a lottery ticket. And he looks at his girlfriend. She tells him, what the heck, let's go and, see if it's anything, on this ticket. They go inside, and the cashier is astonished. They back up from the counter and like, wait, you just won $2 million. The couple look at each other in shock. They can't believe it. They're like, are you sure about this? Check again. They look at the ticket, and it was a $2 million winner. The guy and girl are completely blown away by the news, and now going from dirt poor to being millionaires. Is that story fact or fiction? So this was fun. Let me know in the comment section which one is your favorite story, and also if you think the story is fact or indeed fiction. Thanks for playing.